What happens every day at the U.S.-Mexico border is not only affecting law enforcement, but also Texans who live along the region. Many say they feel unsafe in their own land and want solutions, one of them being a physical barrier to defend and protect. But is it enough? We explore how the state of Texas is keeping trespassers out in part 2 of our series, Border Breakdown. Inside this quaint South Texas neighborhood, surrounded by the Rio Grande River in Hidalgo County, lies a small community called Los Ebanos. It's the home of Rio Bravo Gun Club. Its owner, Eli de la Cruz, is no stranger to migrants passing through from time to time.
I know my neighbors, they have dogs outside just to alert them when there's people, in the area.
Since its opening in August of 2021, this seemingly peaceful outdoor landscape turned active shooting range tends to keep unwelcome visitors at bay.
The sound of bullets flying, I guess it scared anybody away, that would want to cross through here.
But still, the past year and a half brought along newfound problems for Eli.
Most of the people, they're scared to come out here just for the fact of the immigration problem we have.
His business and community left to reap those consequences. It's something this lifelong Mission native Raul Ortiz knows all too well.
Yes, it's gone on our whole lives as far as people crossing this way, but never in the numbers that they're doing right now.
An issue he says touches home for all Americans and points to a porous border as the infamous culprit to blame.
It affects everybody in the long run. It doesn't matter if you're from here in the valley or you're from Texas.
The Biden administration is taking steps to close gaps in U.S.-Mexico border barriers. But President Trump's construction mainly remains at a standstill.
We do not agree with the building of the wall.
The steel you see behind me right now is rusting away. Once intended for a border wall, now sits under the South Texas sun, untouched by the Biden administration. So this is just taxpayer money right here left to rust.
It's going to waste if they don't do anything with it.
The lack of movement fueling frustration for Raul.
So the company that's supposed to be building the border wall just has everything sitting there, even though everything's already paid for the construction and materials and everything.
Despite calling on the federal government, Governor Greg Abbott is now settling President Trump's unfinished business.
Now, Texas is building its own border wall to better secure our border.
According to the governor's website, as of January, Texas has received $55 million in individual donations for construction, which kicked off in December of 2021.
Texas will continue to step up where the Biden administration has failed to do its job.
Abbott also signed House Bill 9, which will add $1.88 billion to the $1.05 billion issued in the spring. That leaves $3 billion toward ramping up border construction and security to prevent what Abbott calls an ongoing crisis.
People that we apprehend, they will be charged with trespassing in the state of Texas. And those charges will lead them to being sent to jail.
Abbott doing whatever it takes, like building a 7-foot-tall chain-link fence with razor barbed wire on top, placing metal shipping containers at low-water areas, and stationing Texas Parks and Wildlife and Texas DPS boats along the Rio Grande.
Texas has had to step up and take unprecedented action to make sure that we as a state are working collaboratively with the Border Patrol to secure our border.
To help federal agents like Jesse Moreno, even calling on law enforcement statewide through Operation Lone Star, deploying nearly 10,000 National Guard members along with state troopers from East Texas to areas where illegal crossings run rampant.
If it's a hop and a skip into the community and there's a physical barrier, that allows our agents more time to respond accordingly.
Raul, who faces the consequences of this reality, suggests while it's not the end-all be-all, it's a weapon in America's arsenal.
The wall is just another tool. Everybody thinks that it's the walls to stop somebody from coming across. It's not. It's just another tool that Border Patrol needs to help them do their job.
A useful tactic to defend, protect, and keep trespassers out.
It's like they say, fences make good neighbors.
Hoping to bring sanctity to the disruption along the Rio Grande. Well, over on our website right now, you can read plans for the border from other Texas gubernatorial candidates, both Democrats and Republicans. They are outlined for you on KDK.com right there on your screen. And along with illegal crossings into our country, the distribution network of drugs in the United States begins at the Texas-Mexico border. But how and why are these dangerous substances getting into our communities? We hear from law enforcement trying to stop the flow and from the people they're going after in the third part of our series, Border Breakdown.